Today I want to combine two of my favourite things, learning languages and playing video games. Now there are loads of different games that you can use to train your language skills, but I'm going to focus on one called Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and I will talk about other games as well. But to start off with, let's dive into this and I'll tell you about why it's so good. Okay, I should probably cut now, but I'm going to leave you with this bit because I think this intro is just brilliant. I really like this. See, it's that transition, love it. The background to this game is that you turn up in this town and there's nobody there, there's nobody in the village, everybody's gone to the missing, everybody's gone to the Rapture, I guess, which is the name of the game. So as you go through the village, and we'll get to the village in a second, you see these little points of light. And when you open them up by turning your controller,
I'm trying.
Then a scene starts to play out, and this is the game basically. You just basically walk around this village, and then later on you end up walking through a forest and go to a farm, and it's just scenes like this. And over time you learn about the story and how it all happened and what is this calamitous event that has happened. It's really interesting. It's very different to any other game that you might play. But you can probably tell from this that it's really dialogue intensive. There's no action really. It's just listening to people talk. So really good for languages. So what I'm going to do now is go into settings here, and you see I can go on the voiceover and I can change this. And what's great here is that you've got loads of languages. I can do it in English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Russian, Polish, and then back to English. So that is, how many is that then? So that's 7 different languages that you can, and it's all fully voice acted in those 7 languages. So you can listen to it in those languages. So let's swap it to German. And what you'll see here is that you can do the subtitles independently of the voiceover, and there's actually much more subtitles than there are voice acting. So I've got Dutch and Portuguese here, for example. But what this means is that if you want to, you can listen to it in German, but you can have the English subtitles on the bottom so that you can understand what's going on if perhaps your German isn't good enough to follow everything. So let's save that and go back to the game. And throughout the game you're guided by this little sphere thing that follows you around. This one's called Jeremy. So now this should be in German when we have this conversation here.
Tja, danach zu urteilen, scheinen die das mit dieser Quarantäne wohl wirklich ernst zu nehmen. Falls Mrs. Borton hier lang gegangen ist, bevor die Straße gesperrt wurde, werden wir sie wohl nicht finden.
So we've got the German conversation with the English subtitles, and this is great because it's a normal conversation between two people. I'm not German, but I feel like the voice acting is actually pretty good, and I can follow it along with the subtitles if I need to, which is really great, really helpful.
Gewehr, ein Soldat mit einem Gewehr in Rapture. Die Welt ist völlig verrückt geworden. Ich glaube, ich schreibe an meine...
And there's the end of the conversation. So again, this is the game. I really like it. It's really interesting. Like.
Wer ist da? Hallo? Kate, falls du das hörst, du musst das optische System ausschalten. Ich sehe einfach keine andere Chance mehr. Hallo, hören Sie mich, wir brauchen Hilfe. Funktioniert. Wer sind Sie? Scheiße, legen Sie sofort auf! Sofort auflegen! Es ist im Telefon! Es ist im Telefon.
So you see, that's super cool. There's the story just gets more like that from there. Like just this really strange thing that's happening. Okay, so let me show you now if we change this to Italian. And still with English subtitles, because I don't speak any Italian, so we're going to do Italian with English subtitles. And note that I've just done that as the game's going. You don't have to close it and open it again, you don't have to reload, and you don't lose your save game, you don't lose your progress, you don't even have to restart anything. So here we go, the ones that you have to turn your controller for, I'm not doing that all the time. The ones where you turn the controller are like the more important plot points.
Sono qui con te, no? Siamo insieme tu e io. L'allineamento di domani. È tuo, hai capito? Tu hai visto l'occasione, tu hai fatto i calcoli. Gli altri forse non lo vedono.
So something just in general about this game, and this isn't supposed to be like a game review by the way, I just want to talk about the languages, but it is a beautiful game. I mean this village is just so perfectly built. But let's go and find another conversation point because then we can see the Italian with the German subtitles.
Che stai facendo? Ti ho visto!
Sta lontano, non ti avvicinare.
È proprietà privata, li spaventi.
Ha invaso tutto il villaggio. Si diffonde rapidamente.
Di cosa stai parlando?
So perhaps if I was learning Italian, but I wanted to make sure that I was maintaining my German, I don't know. It might be a bit confusing actually. It is for me watching this actually, but it's possible. And if English isn't your first language and you want to have the subtitles in something else, I just love the fact that you can do it independently like that. Okay, so the last thing obviously is having your target language and the subtitles at the same time. And this is how I like to play the game, because I enjoy listening to the German, but sometimes I might miss a word because of just the way that the actors are saying it. Now, if I was playing this game properly, all of my gamer instincts would kick in and I would start going into every single house and exhaustively looking at everything. But instead, I know for a fact, because I've played through this once before, that there's a conversation we can watch up in this house.
Was ist mit dem Bahnhof?
Abgeriegelt. Es gibt keinen Weg ins oder aus dem Tal. Die meinen es mit dieser Grippesache offenbar ernst.
Phil glaubt nicht, dass es die Grippe ist. Er sagt, er praktiziert schon 30 Jahre und hat mehr als eine Grippewelle erlebt. Und das hier kommt ihm seltsam vor.
Im Radio hört man auch nichts Hilfreiches.
The people speak quite quickly, and so it's really helpful to have these subtitles, and better for your education to do it in German. If you're ever watching German films as well, like if you want to go and watch The Lives of Others or Run Lola Run or something, like subtitles in German I think are much better than doing it in English, if you've got to the point where you would be able to read it. So let's stop it there. That's Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Really cool game. I've shown you just a brief snippet, and because I was talking all over it, I don't know if you've been able to pick up on the plot, but I said that I would talk about some other games. So the main thing that you're looking for in a game when you want to do it in your target language is that it has good voice acting in that language. There are loads of games that might say they support French or Spanish, but actually they just have subtitles. It's not dubbed in that language, so that's what you want to get. So we saw Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but also The Last of Us is also good. BioShock Infinite is also in a couple of different European languages, and that's a great game as well. Skyrim as well. I haven't played that, but I've heard that that's an amazing game anyway, but works really well in German because it's got this sort of high fantasy setting, and I tend to think that stuff really works well in German. Whenever I read like Grimm fairy tales, for example, I just feel like, how could you have ever not written this in German? Okay, and on that theme actually, any game that Blizzard make is also usually very well voice acted in foreign languages. So Diablo, StarCraft, Overwatch as well. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'll put links below to all of the games that I've talked about, as well as where you can get a hold of them if you want to play them. I'd love to hear if this works for you. Please leave me a comment about how you got on playing these games and whether it helped you with your languages, or perhaps there's something that I've missed that you've really enjoyed playing in French or Spanish or whatever. And also you can subscribe to me if you'd like to see more of these videos. I'm about to spend a year traveling around learning French and Arabic, but I'm going to be making a bunch of these videos as I go about language learning in general. So why not join me for that trip? Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.